Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video where we're going to take a look into World of Warcraft and its lore. Now, like with any fantasy universe, Warcraft has a ton of unanswered questions and a lot of storylines that hit dead ends, so we're going to talk about that today. These are 5 unfinished storylines in World of Warcraft, and also keep in mind that none of these are in any particular order. Number 1. Mal'Ganis's evil plan. Mal'Ganis is probably the most popular dreadlord in Warcraft lore, having made his first appearance in Warcraft 3. He was one of the individuals helping to spread the plague of undeath across Lordaeron. He taunted Arthas into chasing him to Northrend. Arthas killed him with Frostmourne, and then Mal'Ganis returned in the form of a Scarlet Onslaught leader named Barian Wastewind. In the events of Wrath of the Lich King, we learned that Mal'Ganis had been helping to corrupt the Scarlet Onslaught from the inside out, and that, like the Dreadlord Balnazar, he was using them for his own goals. This plan was put to an end, however, when we, alongside the Knights of the Ebon Blade, revealed his true identity and defeated him again. However, rather than dying, he flees back to his homeworld, claiming to be plotting revenge against the Lich King, as well as the heroes of Azeroth. What he means by this is completely unknown, and despite Mal'Ganis making a tiny appearance in the Broken Shore during the events of Legion, he remains an unfinished storyline. What is his plan? Will he strike out against Bolvar now that he's taken Arthas' place, even though he doesn't really have any beef with Bolvar? Could he be the fella that kickstarts another Scourge-themed expansion? We don't know. But I must say that I am eager to see what this little dreadlord has in store for the future. Number 2. Alternate Draenor. Warlords of Draenor was a big time travel / parallel universe expansion that had a very interesting conclusion. Despite the Iron Horde rampaging across Draenor, waging war against the Draenei, killing innocent people, their actions leading to Velen sacrificing himself, and just overall just being a bunch of huge dicks, with the last boss of the expansion, Gromhellscream, the leader of the Iron Horde, Yrel and Khadgar all team up to defeat Archimonde before he could destroy the world. Now, they obviously succeeded, and well, I guess Yrel and friends sort of just forgot the crimes of the Iron Horde, because Gromhellscream just walks away from the situation like, yeah, it's no big deal, and suddenly everybody is just friendly with one another, who cares? It doesn't make any sense, but it gets even more weird when Yrel says that if the heroes of Azeroth ever need their aid, they'll be waiting. So, can we just open up a ton of alternate timeways and get a ton of alternate armies to fight for us against the Legion? In that case, we could have infinite armies and stuff, and well, it's just a mess of a storyline, honestly. The point is, we leave Draenor, and that's that. The conflict is said, and it's dealt with, and we move on to Legion, and we try to forget the past. Maybe there is a mention of Yrel and friends and what they're doing since the end of WoD somewhere in the quest lines in Legion, but at this time, I'm just unaware of what's going on Draenor story-wise. Now, I like to think that once we left, the Draenei got kind of pissed off at the remnants of the Iron Horde and went crazy and killed a ton of them, or imprisoned them. But we don't know. We don't know. Number 3. The Prodigal Lich. Now, I've talked about this character before in other videos, but he's just so cool not to mention again. In case a beautiful Blizzard employee maybe just happens to watch this video. In Tirisfal Glades on the island at the center of Stillwater Lake is a certain NPC named Gunther Arcanus. Now, you may be wondering, who is this guy? So I'm going to tell you. Gunther was a necromancer in life who was so powerful that when the Scourge killed him and raised him as an undead, he was able to break free of the Lich King's control all on his own. Seeing himself as the only sane undead, he retreated to this little island to hide himself away from the world, protecting himself with a horde of his own zombies. Now, people knew about this mysterious man, however, and the Forsaken who spoke of him regarded Gunther as being so powerful that they referred to him as a lich, even though he wasn't one. Back in vanilla, you did a questline where you told him that there were other sane undead, the Forsaken, and that his skills as a necromancer would be heavily valued by the Forsaken and their allies if he would teach them the ways of necromancy. This was, I assume, Blizzard's questline that hinted at the necromancer class being put into the game at a later date, as it was supposed to be one of the original classes of the game. But unfortunately, after this questline in Vanilla WoW, we never see Gunther again, and his storyline was completely dropped. Did he teach necromancy to willing Forsaken? We may never know. Number 4. Chandras Feathermoon. Now, Chandras is a character that has done quite a bit in the books and in various short stories, but we've really never seen her do anything in-game, which means that most players don't even know who the hell this character is. So, if you don't know, the Night Elf military force is referred to as the Sentinels, with Tyrande at the head, and Chandras Feathermoon is her second in command. Chandras is Tyrande's adopted daughter, and for years they've worked together with leading the Night Elves and protecting the forests of Ashenvale. But really, Chandras is kind of just a character that pops up for 1 second here or there, but doesn't really have any true time in the spotlight. She doesn't have any character development. The last time she appeared in lore, for example, was when Jaina Proudmoore was organizing the defenses of Theramore, which Chandras Feathermoon responded to in a true Lord of the Rings True Towers fashion, and her Sentinels helped defend the port city. In Legion, she also has a very brief mention, but it's just that she represents the Sentinels in the Hunter class hall. So honestly, I see Chandras as a character with a lot of potential. I mean, I would love to see the relationship between her and Tyrande explored further, and there are plenty of other things to ask, like, what does Malfurion think about this woman? Does he also consider her to be his daughter? Is that why Tyrande and Malfurion have not had kids yet? I honestly think that Chandras is a pretty cool heroine in the Warcraft storyline and the few things that she's done, but I want to see her actually do something major in the game and see some character development that all the players can enjoy. Number 5. Kel'Thuzad's Phylactery. Kel'Thuzad is a big fan favorite character. I love him. He's a Lich, he was a major player in Warcraft 3's storyline, he's the Lich King's best buddy, and so on. Kel'Thuzad is just awesome, and at the end of Vanilla WoW, we defeated him in the floating necropolis of Naxxramas. Now you would think that that would be the end of the storyline, but no. Kel'Thuzad's phylactery was not destroyed in the events of Vanilla WoW, and so he came back to life and challenged us again in Wrath of the Lich King. And guess what? After killing him in Wrath of the Lich King for the second time, we still didn't technically destroy his phylactery, meaning that at some point in the future, he could come back again. Maybe he'll wrestle control of the Scourge away from Bolvar, or maybe he'll just make an uber version of the Cult of the Damned and kill everybody with plagued grain or something. But one thing is for sure, Kel'Thuzad is an unfinished storyline that is just waiting to be tapped in a future expansion. Or, what could happen, is Blizzard will just one day say, yeah, we destroyed his phylactery, yep, forget that story. And they'll just ruin the whole thing. But you know what? They haven't said that yet, so me and many others remain hopeful of seeing our favorite Lich take the center stage once again. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said at the beginning, there are a ton of unfinished storylines in Warcraft's lore, so what sort of examples can you think of that were not on the list? Feel free to leave a comment below, as well as to speculate as to what these characters might be up to or how they might come into play in the future. And with all that said, guys, I hope you guys are having a great time in Legion. I am, and I'm going to go back to playing Legion. So, I'll talk to you all next time. See ya.